had a totally different topic planned for today's issue. But then there was this unexpected dynamic which popped up, and because of a recent post of mine. Hello, everyone. This is Dwight Woods, the Jeet Kune Rebel. Welcome to the I Love Jeet Kune broadcast number 325. This is the one about Jeet Kune speech interpretation. As you're logging in, if you'd be kind enough to say where you're logging in from, hit the like button and feel free to continue doing so throughout the broadcast. If you're catching the simulcast over on the YouTube, please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell as well. And okay, but of course, the best thing you can do is to share this video and spread the word about the I Love Jeet Kune broadcast. All right, so let me make sure, because of course I forgot to do my headphones. So let me make sure that everybody can hear me. Okay, you guys go ahead and let me know. Norman, Terry, Bucky, Alex, let me know if the audio is working on this thing or not, so that I don't embarrass myself once again. Okay. All right, cool. All right. So my good friend and JKD senior, Michael Marcellus Brown, who's the moderator over on our sister page, JKD Talk, he's fond of saying something like, if you weren't there, you don't know. And I agree, I'd say 99.9% of the time with that. But it is something that I modify to suit my needs, right? So, for example, I say sometimes you may not have been there, but you can get in the know if you learn about it from somebody who was there. Now, obviously, there can be problems with that because it is reported speech. So there could be some colorization done to that speech. Another one of my takes is you weren't there, but through judicious research and investigation, you can get closer to knowing. And lastly, if you weren't there, then you're not in on the joke. And that's what brings us to today's amended topic for the broadcast. So here's what happened. I put up this post about Sifu Dan and what he teaches. Let me see if I can find it and give it to you guys, show it to you guys. There we go. Okay. All right. So here's the post that I put up. And some of you may have seen it, some of you may not have seen it, right? So it's this thing here. Okay. And what it said, hold on. It's uploading. It's taking its time. Right? So what it said was something like that Inasano, he doesn't even teach the original JKD. You're damn right. And they don't teach George Washington's tactics in the US Army of today, right? That was the post. And I wanted to see what, like it says right there, if you see at the bottom, let's see what we get in the comments. Now, what I didn't expect is that since I didn't attribute the quotes to anyone in particular, I didn't expect that this would be misinterpreted as me being disrespectful to Dan Inasano. So upon reflection, I realized I should have attributed, but this is the joke. So my good friend and training partner, Ron Reagan Goldstein, is on here. If Ron saw that post, because Ron was right next to me in Denver, when Dan Inasano said it himself, Ron would be in on the joke. He would understand my post 100% because he was there. So he'd be in on the joke. So the joke is this. For somebody to think that I'm being disrespectful to Dan Inasano, they're way off base because they're not in on the joke. Anybody who attended the Denver seminar would understand it, right? So that thing about that Dan Inosanto, he doesn't even teach the original JKD. This is Dan Inosanto talking about himself, right? So it's kind of I guess then it becomes an inside thing. Now, why am I talking to you guys about this? Because I've posted about it before, right? And it's the thing I call Inosanto speak. And by that, I mean having an understanding of what can sometimes be the deeper meaning or the deeper implication in what he says. And this is something which I came up with, the whole Inosanto speak, as a result of discussions with my good friend and JKD colleague, Richard Torres, who has a knack for assigning different meanings to what Dan Inosanto says. And also he has a knack for assigning his own thoughts or opinions as facts about Sifu Dan. So if we go back to that George Washington statement, when Inosanto says, yeah, they don't even wear the same uniform, because that was part of what he said also. That's simply him saying that things in other parts of the world have evolved. Now, specifically, he's talking about combat methods, right? So it's a way of saying that in combat methods, things evolve. And so that is the major point that he's making. It's not meant to be taken word for word, because it's quite possible that there are tactics still taught from the 1700s. It's quite possible that at West Point or wherever it is that you teach these things, that there are tactics from the 1700s being taught. Okay. But that would be because they still prove effective or efficient or what have you. But they're not using the same weapons, are they? And one of the other things he said was, back in those days, they used to send information or signals or whatever by drumming. He says, so should we use drums now versus using walkie-talkies or what have you? So that's the big point behind it. If you latch yourself on to the small point, right, of the specific words that Dan Inosanto said, then you're not versed in Inosanto speak. You got to dig deeper in order to find out what's really going on and what he's talking about. And so that is the point, right? Art of combat evolution, which would include Jeet Kune. If Bruce Lee saw things in other arts, when Bruce Lee saw things in other arts, other martial arts systems, besides what he formerly trained in, besides Wing Chun. So if he thought it important to bring these things in, then is it not conceivable that had he lived, he would have continued on that path of looking at other things and then bringing into your personal method those things that made sense to you? That's actually not my post. Somebody put, so I think it's Richard Roland. He put something like that up. So if you guys, when you finish with me, you can go take a look at that. So let me know what you think about that. Does this thing about Inosanto speak make sense to you? In fact, let me just take a look in the comments and see if anybody made a point of it. So, okay, so right. Okay, so look at this, right? So Norman says, I've heard Sifu Dan say that at other seminars. Right. So it's part of his teaching, right? Paul says, no one who watches you regularly would ever think you would be rude to Inosanto. Thank you, Paul. Thank you. Right. See, that was a little bit surprising, right? Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. Right. And Alex over on the YouTube says, I'm staying out of any style or camp discussion these days. Ah, come on, Alex, have fun, man. Right? No, I don't fault anybody who stays out of this stuff because it can be confusing. In fact, not only can it be confusing, it can be embarrassing as hell. All right, so I'm done with the broadcast. So if you guys want to sign off or whatever, go ahead and do that. I'm just going to tell you about this. There was a picture that I put up. It's a rare photograph from Enter the Dragon, and I put it up. And people whose opinions and knowledge I respect said, I don't think this is real. It's photoshopped. And I had that suspicion too, but I put it up to see if anybody who knew more than I do about these things could tell me whether or not it was real. And so the opinion of some people was that it's not real. And then a guy named Vin Silva found the scene. The scene in the movie is so fast. It's less than 3 seconds. That's why I never even saw it myself. And I went looking for it to find the image. Anyhow, so if you want to go take a look at that, when I first put it up, I just put a one word, damn, right? So if you guys want to go check that, it's pretty funny, right? And kind of embarrassing for me. Anyhow, all right, so that's it for today. You guys let me know what you think about this whole phenomenon of Inasano speak, all right? Okay, over at paypal.me/UnifiedMA Miami, paypal.me/UnifiedMA Miami, you can find the Jeet Kune Journey Volume 1, paypal.me/UnifiedMA Miami, the raw but edited version. At jkdrebel.com, if you click on the Rebel Gear link, that's where you'll see the different articles of clothing and kitchen implements that we have available. jkdrebel.com, click on the Rebel Gear link. Please keep in mind, early next year, February 1st and 2nd, we will have Titans of JKD 4, right? There's actually, I should tell, I don't have a postcard or anything for it, but here in Miami in August, we're doing a seminar that is unlike anything that I have done before. It's going to be with my good friend G. Anthony Joseph, and it's going to be a seminar on the TCF system. We're putting the details together, and I'll have stuff for that on that for you by next week. All right. Today is a blue day. There you go. Right. So you guys let me know what you think about this whole phenomenon of Inasano speak. That's all I got to say about this video. And I will see you guys. Let's see. Oh, sorry. How could I forget this? On Friday, Bill Hurst of Canada, William Hurst from Canada, is going to make his second appearance on Jeet Kune Dialogues. And we're going to be talking about the Nova system. I seem to be becoming very involved with, let's call them JKD adjacent systems. So Bill Hurst, 6 p.m. on Friday, we're going to talk about the Nova system. I think you guys will be very, very, very happy and very intrigued by this. Okay, so that's it. This is Dwight Woods of Jeet Kune Rebels signing off. You guys enjoy the rest of your evening. Take care. Talk soon.